Hey, this is Petra with Boundaryless, helping you to unleash your potential and make a difference across the globe. And today you are in for such a treat because my today's guest truly is a global leader. Tanja started her own startup, Hey Beauty, a scheduling tool for beauty appointments at the age of 25. Currently, she is a managing partner at Startup Live, the leading startup event series in Europe and one of the biggest entrepreneurial communities worldwide. Being passionate about female entrepreneurship, she also founded the Female Founders Club, a network to connect and support women within the startup scene. Originally coming from Austria, Tanja has also been living and working in several different countries such as Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Thailand, and Israel, connecting their startup scene with European startups. Tanja, I'm so excited to have you here today. Now, let's take it back to the cornerstone of your work, which is helping startups to make a big something. So what is the one most important thing that every entrepreneur should know once they want to start a business in Austria?
So if it would be that easy, everyone could do it. I think over the course of the last years, I learned a lot that it's about the people you surround yourself with, It's about the team, that's what everyone says in the end. It's about if you have investors on board, if you want to grow as a business, the co-founders you lean into, that's the most important part. And I think this is the most critical one. And then just do it. So really, it's a roller coaster ride, and you need to go through everything which life is throwing at you. And that's why you need the perfect co-founders to actually be able to do that. And I think this is the one lesson I learned during the last years.
I know you spent a lot of time in Israel lately, and concretely in Tel Aviv, especially connecting European startups with the Israeli ones. Why Israel?
That's so difficult to answer. I mean, I don't know if you have been there. I visited it first time last year, and since then I've been there 14 times. Which is kind of
a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I think the main thing when it comes to Israel is the culture there and the people. So again, it's about people. It's an amazing spirit they have. The startup scene there is like one of the most important ones worldwide. So they have a lot of startups, they have a lot of investors, and I think Austrian startups, or especially all European ones, can learn a lot from them. So this is why we are trying to connect them. And I fell in love with the city last year, and that's the reason why I'm coming back every single month, basically. So.
I know Israeli might be very direct, especially in the business meetings. They might get even very emotional, but they seem to be okay after leaving the meeting room, which is quite in contrast to the Austrian culture, since Austrians rather tend to prevent or avoid conflicts. So what are some of your experiences with the cultural differences? Did you have any struggles once starting in Israel?
Well, in the very beginning, I was fascinated by their power and their really hands-on mentality. So This is something that's really super common over there, and which you can find here in Austria, especially in the startup scene. But over there, it's like wow. But then in my first really meeting I encountered there, it was like. Oh my gosh! And I'm a direct person as well, and I have no problem with arguing with someone. But those people there was first thing we started 30 minutes late because they were just talking about anything like vacation and stuff. And then we started, and I was like, okay. And they just started talking in Hebrew, and I was like, sorry guys, I'm not speaking Hebrew. And so once we got into the whole conversation, they just started again in Hebrew, and I was like. Really? So for me it was kind of rude, because I didn't grab it. But in the end, they just after the whole conversation, they just left. They stand up. So it was like what? So this was my first thing. We didn't even end the meeting, right? Did we? And I was like, what's happening here? Oh yeah, they have another appointment. What? So can you imagine that? Yeah, they're starting super late and just leaving, and they're just like bye. What? So this was the first thing in Israel. Was like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with you guys, but they are super easy as well. So it's easier if you just don't take things very personal. I think they stand up their mind. They just say what they think, and they can shout. But once you can relax with that, I think that's okay. I think it's a very difficult for some Austrians, of course, because we totally avoid conflict. But if you see it on an easier level, it's totally fine.
Now, you empower women to establish their own businesses. What might be the main struggles or challenges women entrepreneurs might be facing in Austria?
I think especially when it comes to Austria, it's about the culture, the mindset of the people. I think there is still a huge difference between what we see or what we think about men and women and what we can trust in them. So I think it's still very unusual to have female CEOs, female startup founders, for example, and also women starting their own business. And then coming back to Israel again, I think this is something we can learn a lot from them, because there is equality between men and women, at least how I see it, right? They have military service from the beginning on for both genders, so they learn how to work together, and they see that there's a strong woman as well. So this is not the question of their abilities and strength, when it comes to Austria, And I think this is something what Austria should empower during the next years as well. And this is one reason why we started Female Founders, to have more role models within this system, so that our kids, our daughters, can grow up in a culture where it's totally normal to have female CEOs and female leaders everywhere. And that's the thing. That's the main challenge, I think, still.
What would be your advice for these women?
Actually, not to think about the stuff that much, we usually tend to do. Just do it and don't think, hey, I'm a woman, maybe I have this and that advantages. Just do it, do your best, prove them wrong if it's necessary, and just give your very best. And I think this is the only advice you need, because then everything is possible. I know you need to want to go the extra mile, and I think as a woman you need to prove it maybe one more time often than a guy, but still, I think if you go through that, there are amazing things which happen, because there are some role models already, so follow them.
Yeah, that leads me to my last question. What would be the one key lesson that you've learned over the course of the last years that you would like to leave us with today?
I never understood when people are complaining about Mondays, when they need to go back to work and stuff. So my key message to every single person I meet, and I always want to give something to them, is that they should do what they love. I think we're living in a great society now where everything is possible, and once you realize that, and once you follow your passion, I think this is really true. You don't have to work any day in your life anymore, and this is what I wish for everyone.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, and good luck.
Now, Tanja and I would love to hear from you. So what is the one idea or concept that you heard today and you want to apply into your life from today on? Let us know in the comment section below. Like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I catch you next time on Boundaryless. Was macht das Ding hier?
Stimmt, mein vor, es kommt unten das Kabel raus und du merkst es nicht. Oder bei mir geht hinten das Ding raus.
What would be the one key lesson that you've learned over the course of the last years that you would like to leave us with today?
Was habe ich eigentlich gesagt?